I laughed when my friend said my boyfriend and I are doing a role play. So yesterday, my boyfriend Thomas and I went to this group study session at the library with a few people from our organic chemistry class. My friend Olivia was there. She's had this painfully obvious crush on Thomas since freshman year, but he's completely oblivious to it, which honestly makes everything so much more awkward. The entire 3-hour session, Thomas was being his usual ridiculously sweet self. He showed up with my favorite iced vanilla latte from that expensive coffee place across campus, even though he's constantly broke from buying art supplies. He kept absent-mindedly playing with my hair while I was highlighting notes, doing that thing where he twirls the ends around his finger when he's thinking. Every few minutes, he'd lean over and whisper these absolutely stupid little jokes in my ear about our professor's weird mannerisms that made me giggle like an idiot. Just completely normal boyfriend behavior that he does literally every single day. But Olivia kept shooting us these intense, almost angry looks, like really hostile stares every time Thomas would lean over my shoulder to help me understand some impossible chemical equation, or when he'd unconsciously rest his hand on my thigh while explaining something. I figured she was just stressed about the midterm coming up next week. During our break, Olivia grabbed my arm hard and practically dragged me into the bathroom down the hall. The second that door slammed shut, she whips around and goes, "Okay, you can drop the ridiculous act now since it's just us." I was genuinely confused and asked what the hell she was talking about. Olivia crosses her arms, gets this smug expression, and says, "The whole elaborate fake dating charade you're putting on to make me jealous." Really mature move, honestly. How long did you think you could keep this up? I literally burst out laughing because that sounded completely insane. Like seriously, who even comes up with conspiracy theories like that? I told her that Thomas and I have been together for 8 months now, and even pulled up photos on my phone from our anniversary dinner last month at that fancy Italian place downtown. She rolled her eyes so dramatically, I thought they might actually fall out of her head, and said, "Right, since exactly when? Because you never once mentioned having a boyfriend before this semester started." That's when everything suddenly clicked into place. Olivia and I had only reconnected at the beginning of the semester after completely losing touch since junior year of high school. We'd gone to different colleges, lived in different states, had totally separate lives for years. In her twisted perception, Thomas had just magically materialized in my life at the exact same moment we started hanging out again. She thought his pet names for me were carefully rehearsed lines from some script. His completely natural protectiveness seemed like an elaborate theatrical performance designed specifically for her benefit. Even our inside jokes and the way we finish each other's sentences looked completely fake to her because she had absolutely zero context for our actual relationship history and how we developed all these little habits together. I spent 10 minutes trying to explain our entire timeline, how we met at freshman orientation, became study buddies, slowly became best friends, that awkward period where we both clearly liked each other but were too scared to say anything, our first kiss after a party last winter. But she kept shaking her head like I was feeding her complete fabricated lies. She was 100% convinced that I had somehow hired my own actual boyfriend to pretend to be my boyfriend, just to psychologically torment her and mess with her feelings for him. The mental gymnastics required for that theory were honestly impressive. The absolute funniest part of this whole ridiculous situation, Thomas still has completely no clue that Olivia has feelings for him. He was just being his normal, naturally affectionate self while she sat there analyzing every single tiny gesture, like it was some graduate level course in psychological manipulation specifically designed to destroy her emotionally. When we finally returned to our study table, Thomas immediately asked if everything was okay, because Olivia looked visibly upset. Then he offered to share all his detailed chemistry notes with her for the upcoming exam. Sweet, totally clueless Thomas had absolutely no idea he was apparently the center of this elaborate imaginary love triangle conspiracy that existed entirely in Olivia's head.